Good evening, everyone. Sarah Russell, and I'm the Director of Admissions at Medical University of the Americas. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's conference where we are going to speak with current student Ivy Zhang, who has taken time out of her busy schedule to join us and answer a lot of the questions that we receive in the admissions department. So Ivy, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Pleasure.
So Ivy, let's just jump right into it. Why don't you speak to me a little bit about how valuable did you feel the pre-medical program was in preparing you for MD1?
So for me, initially, the pre-med program, I really enjoyed. All the professors that taught the pre-med program would actually go into the Med 1 lectures and Med 2 lectures and kind of look at what's most up to date in the curriculum in the basic science program. So as well, we were learning about anatomy, physiology, and pre-med. They were really similar materials to almost the exact materials really to what the Med 1 students and Med 2 students were learning at the time. By the time I got to the Med 1 program, I felt very comfortable with everything that we were learning. And of course, like when you look at the credits that are being offered under the pre-med program, me being Canadian, there's a lot of credits that have to be a year long plus lab and all this stuff. And at the point when I had applied for the school, I was already working full time and I just wasn't able to commit a couple hours every week to go to school for the next year, only to reapply again for the medical program. So I thought, well, with the pre-med program, you get a taste of what the island is like. You get to see how the school functions. You get to meet the professors as well as other medical students. And really, in 8 months, you're done. So really, as opposed to a 12-month credit that you would have to take back home, you can get all your credits done in 8 months and make it to the med program and be even more comfortable than having had to do your credits back home. So I really enjoyed it.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about how MUA Mentors program works at MUA? And did you have a mentor yourself before you came to the school?
Yeah, I was really fortunate enough to get in mentors almost a week before I landed. So I was able to email her and message her. And I was also fortunate enough to get someone who had a similar educational background as mine as well. So we were able to talk about kind of comparisons as to what we had learned in undergrad and how similar it would be to the medical program here. The MUA Mentors program is run by students and it's for students. So normally an upper medical student would get a list of all the incoming students, regardless whether you're pre-med or Med 1 student, and they'll assign you a upper med who might have come from the same city as you or perhaps have done the same undergrad as you have, and they'll give you their email information as well as any sort of contact information you may want. And from there, you pretty much either become their mentee or they become your friend. But all the students here are extremely helpful. I didn't feel like I was an outcast by any means when I landed here. Everybody was really friendly. There were club fests all the time. And really the Mentors program is really there to help you really get relaxed in a foreign country while you're here for the next 2 years for your education.
Great. And how did you get chosen to be a teaching assistant? And what was it like?
So the teaching assistant program is ran by the professors with the students as a TA. So the TA program is mostly for students in the basic science program. So all the TAs are comprised of Med 2 to Med 5 students, and they're chosen either by the course director or by a group of professors who taught the course. And what they'll do is they'll look through your scores as well as your shelf scores, that the shelf exam you would have to do at the end of every semester in the basic science program. And they'll see the students who have either really excelled in the program and the credit, or if they were just really good students and they noticed their work ethic was really great, then they would be offered a position as a TA for that course for the next semester. So for me, I became a histology TA in Med 2, and then a microbiology TA in Med 3, and then various courses. And so from there, you'd be able to teach the younger classmates if they have any issues, or perhaps they just have a really minor thing to clarify, but then you'd be able to clarify for them. Or maybe they're afraid, maybe they're more, they're too shy to approach their professors and they just want to approach a fellow student, then it's a perfect person to kind of reach out to. So when you're coming in as a Med 1 student, you would get a Med 2 TA, and they've pretty much gone through the exact same thing as you have just a semester ago, and it'll be perfect for you to kind of reach and of course make networking as well. As a pre-med student, there are no TAs for the pre-med program, but there are the MUA tutoring program, and the tutoring program is actually also run by students, for students, and they are all students who have either taken the course and have gotten at least a 3.0 or above in the course, and you would be able to schedule online through a website for a tutor if you need to, and you would be able to contact them directly and make appointments through there. So no matter what semester or what program you're in, there are ways to reach out to a student who may have done really well in the program, and they'd be able to help you out.
Great. And what is a typical day at MUA?
So generally, this class starts at 8 for all basic science courses. For pre-med, back then it started around 9ish, and it would end about 4 to 5 p.m. depending on what day. And you would take multiple different courses. Usually it's a mixture of pathology, physiology, pharmacology, and depending on what semester you're in, if you're in semester 1, then you would be in anatomy and histology courses throughout the day, as well as embryology. Med 2, you have microbiology, immunology. So every semester has their own special courses that you would have to take at that time. Mm-hmm. By the time you're done, you kind of take an hour or two off. If you want to go to the library, you can. If you kind of want to walk to the back of the school has a really great view of the ocean, so you could go there to kind of de-stress if you want to. We also have a soccer field as well as a basketball court. I myself don't play any sports, but a lot of the students here do, and they always have a good time playing some pickup basketball. They've also played Frisbee before, I believe. So there's a lot of activities that you can do to kind of rewind. And then, of course, by the time it's 7 p.m., people are just kind of at home studying, and then you repeat the next day.
How have you found the island in your living arrangements?
So when I first got accepted to the school, I really wasn't sure what to expect. I've never really been to a Caribbean island before. So the first thing I did was follow the admissions package recommendation and to join the MUA Facebook mentors group that they have on there, as well as the specialized class of, whatever year you're in. So this year would be class of September 2018 group. And there you would be able to meet a lot of various incoming students as well. You can connect with people who are coming from your same city. There's also like a document for new incoming students that students have created, kind of like a survivor guide that they can read through. And reading all that kind of made me feel better, because up until then, everything kind of seemed like a dream, and you don't really know what you're expecting, and you don't really know if it's even real until you land on the island. The arrangements were all like very smooth and flawless, really. The moment I landed in St. Kitts, I lined up to customs. Customs wasn't really that big of a problem. As soon as you leave the airport, you'll meet a lady or a gentleman with the sign of MUA. They have your name on the list. They place you on a bus. They place you on a boat to go across from St. Kitts to Nevis, if you are flying from St. Kitts. And from there, they'll arrange a taxi for you, and they'll take you straight to the dorm or whichever housing that you've been assigned. And from there, really, the next day, they take you to school, get all your papers signed. They'll take you grocery shopping for the week. So really, by the time you've arrived to the next 72 hours, everything is kind of on the set schedule, and you're set for school by the time it's orientation.
What do you wish you had known to bring with you to Nevis?
So I'm sure everyone knows it's a Caribbean island. It's probably extremely hot outside all the time, and it is, but I kind of wished I brought more hoodies, actually, and long sleeves, just because the classrooms, as well as the school, can get quite chilly. And if you're someone who likes to study in the library and you're sitting in an AC room for over 7-8 hours, you might want to bring a hoodie or even a fleece blanket. You can bring in as well. The teachers are accommodating. If you want to have a blanket over your legs or anything like that, you can, and you can also leave that in the classroom. Once you leave in the classroom, no one will take it, and it's there, and you're kind of comfortable as you're studying. Pretty much other things, I guess if you have any specialized like skincare you have to use, or of course medications, you might want to bring that down, or if there's any food in particular that makes you homesick if you don't get to have it, you can also bring it down, provided that it's okay with customs. But really, the island here does have majority, like 99% of the things that you need. Toothbrush, toothpaste, like everything that you need, really, they do have it here. Unless you have some amazing toiletries that you'd like to bring down, and that's okay. Clothing-wise, everyone, of course, you do have to dress business casual, especially when you have lab. Lab is business attire, and that's mostly for basic science students. In terms of clothing-wise, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, I'm just going to come here and study. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do this and do that. But there are actually a lot of recreational groups that you can join as well. So there are like hiking groups that you can join, like I mentioned before, soccer, basketball. We have soccer tournaments and basketball tournaments every other semester, or almost every semester, really. So if you are someone who like to do some sports, I would definitely recommend bringing gym clothes or at least recreational wear. And of course, maybe a couple clothing that you could wear to go out. Once you start making friends, you're going to realize that there's a birthday every month for everybody here. So you're going to want to go out and kind of have a good time. So definitely not just bring, a suit or a business wear and not have anything to wear when you go to the beach with your friends.
How are your courses? And are the professors engaging and helpful?
One of the really great things actually about MUA is that all the professors here, whether you're from pre-med 1, pre-med 2, or med 1, they're all extremely accommodating. From the first day of class, they'll tell you exactly where their offices are, they'll tell you exactly what their office hours are, and every time you have break, there's always students that go up to them. They will clarify any sort of class material with you if you don't understand. They're all extremely accommodating, and they are always updating their slides as well based on the most recent information of the Step 1 material. All the professors that I've met so far, well, the last 2 years of being here, they've all have sets of the first aid books, the most updated first aid. They have Kaplan books. They have all sorts of different really, really good review books, and they base their course material as well as their testing materials on those books. So by the time that you take their exams and then you get to the shelf exams, you do feel quite prepared. And I think the grades do reflect on how much they teach you and how much work you put in yourself as well.
How's the food? And what are the different restaurant options?
So the food options are mostly Indian food on the island. There are a couple restaurants. The most popular restaurants really are the Indian restaurants because they tend to deliver to your dorm if you would like. They also, Nevis is a tourist attraction, so they do have hotels here on the island that have really great food. They have 4-star, 5-star hotels here. The restaurants are available, of course, to students. So if there's like a special occasion, or if you really miss that steak and potatoes, you can definitely go there and have one, when you feel like it. Groceries wise, there are 3 different types of groceries here, and they offer different things at different times of the week. So you do have to, sometimes if you go at a time when a lot of things are sold out, you might not see what you want, but majority of the food items are there. It's definitely not the North American culture of having, Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons for the Canadians, McDonald's. They're not all just within steps away from your dorm or from the school. So you do have to kind of plan ahead and perhaps pick up a couple cooking skills from your family if you have to. But you definitely won't starve here, and there's definitely more than enough food that to at least keep you going for the next 4 months while you're here.
Great. And what activities do you tend to do when not studying, or other students tend to do when not studying?
So there's a lot of extracurricular activities that you can do on the island. One of the main huge attractions that a lot of students do like is going scuba diving as well as snorkeling, and one of the staff on campus actually helps organize that. So every semester he helps out organize those events, and a lot of students go there and they always have a really good time. Of course, you can pick up some water sports if you like. The beaches are within driving distance from the school campus, so if you do live on campus and you want to go for a drive to the beach, you can, just to kind of rewind and dine and just have a good time. Like I've mentioned before, we do have a sports association, and they also organize a lot of pick-up soccer or pick-up basketball. And any students, they'll just randomly put on the MUA sports group, hey, does anyone want to play soccer? And a couple people will respond, and next thing you know, there's a pick-up soccer going on the same day. So there are a lot of things that you could do on the island. And of course, if you join clubs, there are clubs that do a lot of community events, as well as organize fundraisers for charities on the island or overseas. So there's always something to do here.
That's so nice to hear. What organizations are there to join at MUA?
So not to sound biased, but definitely there's the American Medical Student Association, and that's the club that I'm currently president of. And we're currently known as the MUA chapter, and they are kind of all over the world, actually, for any American medical students who are studying to become a physician. The main chapter, of course, is in Washington, D.C., and they do a lot of political rallying, picketing, and all that stuff. And of course, they also offer a lot of discounts to medical students, and it's a great networking opportunity. So there's one there. The other ones, of course, there are the Student Surgical Association, and they, of course, hold suturing events and other surgery-related events for any students who are interested in becoming surgeons or doing anything sort of hands-on. We have the Black Students Association, we have the Muslim Student Association, South Asian Student Association, Neurology Student Association, Sports Association. I mean, there's just so many associations here, and they're all catered to a different population of students here, but they all have one goal here, which is just to kind of have a good time and provide students with leadership opportunities as well as kind of giving back to the community here.
Can you share with us a little bit about why MUA, Medical University of the Americas, has been a great choice for you?
Oh, I mean, I feel like the moment I landed here and, how I said I was really impressed with how everything was organized, it really made me feel like I was a student as opposed to kind of landing here and not knowing what to do, where to go. Everything had been set up really nicely, and I feel like that reflects on how well the school organizes everything. Is if they can organize, over 100 students landing in one day and be able to get them from point A to point B without any issues, I think it's a really good reflection on how well they know their students or at least know what they're doing. I mean, the pre-med program, like I've said already, it really catered towards the medical program. The professors there have all, they've told the students stories of their students who went through the pre-med program and then the basic science and then completed MUA and have now entered really successful, really great residencies. And it's hard to kind of picture what the end is like when you're still in North America or wherever you're from. But the moment you land here and you get to meet people and you get to put the faces to the words, that's when you realize that the end is possible and it's very much realistic. And it's all about putting in the hard work with their support. And there's just nowhere, I don't know, I guess there's just nowhere like that you could get that kind of service. And of course, joining clubs also help too, because all these students here, they make friends with upper meds, and then once they leave the island, you can still get to hear their success stories later on. So especially this semester for me, when I had opportunities to meet with students, or not students, with graduates of the class of 2018 this year, a lot of them were very successful. They appreciated what the school had done for them. A lot of them got residencies that they had wanted on their first choice. And for me, to be able to put the name, the face, and the story, and knowing that they were just here 2-3 years ago is obviously very comforting, and knowing that what I'm doing right now isn't just all in vain.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time with us today, Ivy. I know you're very busy. You are you're studying a lot and you're very active on the campus. So thank you again for taking the time with us.
Yeah, no problem.
For those who are watching, please, if you have any questions for the admissions department, don't hesitate to give us a phone call or send us a quick email. We can be reached via email at admissions@mua.edu, or you can call us here in the administrative office at 978-862-9500, and we're extension number 1. You can also find that information on our website or fill in your contact information and we can call you if you would prefer. So thank you again, Ivy, and I guess get back to studying.
Yeah, definitely will. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar, and whoever's watching, you're definitely making a good choice. So
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.